How we doing, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of the Birchlands. Basically, last time, we put together this little building right here. That's what we've been doing the last couple episodes, and then we dug down into the ground, and we put a basement in here. It's still very crowded up here, as you can see. We've got a whole bunch of chests right here, doing nothing, basically, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make another room branching off of this thing. But first, you may notice that the motion in this video, it's a little bit smoother, like the camera motion stuff, and that's because I am playing with 100% sensitivity as opposed to hyperspeed. Basically, sensitivity is going to be how fast the camera moves when you move your mouse, and previously I had it up to the maximum setting. This is actually how it's been for like years, like before I even started the channel. But yeah, so I'm getting used to this. My gameplay might be a little clunky in this episode, but I have played for a good few hours on this sensitivity in another world. You'll never guess which one. So here we are, the motion. Hopefully this improves the quality of the video a little bit. Hope you guys like this, but yeah. So I just got done knocking down some trees right here, waiting for my clothes to finish drying and everything. They're all set now, so I'm recording this. So we have a lot of coal in this world, for those of you who don't know. We have enough coal to fill a double chest, and it's the only double chest we have that's meant for coal. So yeah, I'm just gonna be stockpiling all of these logs. Until we get a bigger space for all that, they're just gonna live in the storage facility. And we'll probably do something with them. We're probably gonna build a whole bunch of houses with them in the village. Maybe even one this episode if we have time, but I don't want this to drag on too long. At least, you know, for a Birchlands episode, I try to keep these like 30, 40 minutes each. But, yeah, so we have a lot of jungle logs and just a lot of stuff in general, too. I haven't played this world in a hot minute, but, oh yeah, we also got our first stack of nether bricks, too. We've been smelting up some netherrack behind the scenes and getting some nether bricks, so that's some pretty cool stuff. We're gonna hopefully mine up a whole bunch of netherrack at some point in the surface nether and, bring it here, smelt it up, and turn it into nether bricks, because that's how you get it without going to a nether fortress and breaking it up and everything. But anyways, yeah, so here we are. As I said before, we're gonna be doing a little bit of a big dig here, basically. It's gonna be a room that's gonna be branched off of the basement, so it's gonna be like right under this area right here. And this is basically where we're going to move all these chests with the ingredients in them. And yeah, that'll just leave the brewing stands up here on the surface level. So hopefully that all goes according to plan. But yeah, let's get on it. So basically, I left myself some spaces right here to make the hallways branching off into these rooms right here. Now, what we want to do is we don't want to dig too high because obviously, you know, we've got the sand coming down, like kind of like that actually. And we don't want to create a massive hole in the surface, but we might end up doing so anyways, you know. It's kind of a beach up there. It's a very beachy beach. There's a lot of sand there. There's a lot of turtles too, but we're mainly concerned about the sand. This is just simply going to be a space to store all the ingredients and stuff and the finished potion products and everything once we're all finished with that. I don't think I'll do it in the same room. So one of these rooms, we're actually going to be making 2 rooms today. So one of these rooms is going to be dedicated to ingredients and the other one is going to be dedicated to potions. Just to keep things organized basically and to keep the storage situation even. Unfortunately, you cannot stack potions in Minecraft. That's a huge oof right there. So it's going to take up a lot of space. That up there, that's dirt. So we're absolutely going to create a hole under here. That's absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love creating holes. Alright, so the hallway isn't going to be too long. I reckon it'll just be like 2 blocks in between here, maybe 3. But this right here, this layer, this is where the room, these are where the walls are going to be. This is where the walls are going to start. Alright, so here's what we've got right now. Obviously we're gonna bring down the roof too. We haven't reached the surface yet, but right behind these dirt or grass blocks, I should say, actually, that's gonna be the surface. So if we just keep going in this direction, eventually, obviously the grass up there that we placed, ends. And, yeah, we're gonna start to see the sky, basically. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to bring over the cobblestone and we're gonna try to design this room with the chests in mind, basically. So we're gonna have stacks of double chests, probably only 2 or 3, and then in between them, we're gonna do some logs in between. And we don't need too many, I don't think. It's going to depend on how many ingredients we have. I'm going to go take a quick peek upstairs real quick. Or up the ladder, I should say. There's really no stairs in this building. But we do have quite a few ingredients right here. We got blaze powder, we got gas tier. So we might need... Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to do maybe five stacks of chests on each side. That should be absolutely plenty. Unfortunately, that is going to increase the length of this room too as well. You know, more chests are going to require more space. And would you look at that? We've come across some coal. Don't mind if I do. And some iron as well. We actually came across some iron later, or earlier. What the frick? It wasn't a lot, so I didn't bother really saying much about it, but that is going to be fabulous right there. So it's 2 ores in the span of like less than like 10 seconds there. And this really isn't like too deep below the surface either. Like, ores, they're kind of easy to find in these older versions of Minecraft prior to caves and cliffs. Anyways, we're going to continue bringing the cobblestone over here. This is going to be the floor, and basically, these 2 blocks right here you're seeing, these are basically where the chests are going to be at, and then in between them, this is where the log's going to be. Just really trying to plan everything out. We shouldn't have to go much farther here. We're definitely going to raise the roof here, though. Now, let's see. Will the sky present itself? It probably will by the time we get to that back wall over there. And there it is. And it's nighttime, too, so... Yeah, we're going to have to patch all of this up with dirt. Fantastic. It's not going to be a pain in the rear at all. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think that's pillagers. Yeah, we got some visitors again. I didn't know what that was. That pillager like flashed by right up there. Do they even know I'm down here? I don't think they do. I don't even hear them anymore. That sure was interesting, I guess. Yeah, so the pillagers. So I guess since there's a village in this world now, in this dimension, they spawn. They come in, they do their thing. And that was one of them. You just witnessed a pillager for like half a second there. What are those dudes doing, man? What are they up to? They better not be trying to hurt my villagers. But anyways, looks like the cobblestone floor is already complete. Very nice. And I don't think I'll actually be patching every little bit we've dug out right here. Because I think right here, there used to be like a hill right here before I came in and landscaped it a while back. And flattened everything out. So, yeah, so we're in more stone here. We're actually going deeper into the earth. Not too much deeper, but it's deep enough where I don't have to worry about the sand falling down. Now it's going to be time to get some building materials. But first, I want to see... where did those pillagers go off to? Oh my goodness, I legit can't even see them. Did they despawn? They might have despawned, actually, because, like, we weren't seeing them. Oh, wait, there they are. Way over there. What are those dudes doing? Are those even the same pillagers? I don't even think so. Like, it wouldn't make any sense, because, like, I saw... clearly, they came from over here, and, they walked over here, ran by here. That's when we just briefly saw them, and then I want to say I saw them again, like, right here, maybe. Going in that direction. That might be a completely different patrol over there, but they also seem very stationary as well. Those were some weird pillagers that came by. Seemed like they just rushed through. I've never seen anything like that. Now, we might have to utilize the auto smelter, it looks like, because it appears that we do not have a lot of smooth stone lying around, at least from what I've seen right here. A lot of cobblestone. And I plan to make the walls of this place out of stone brick. And we're kind of going to need that smooth stone to actually get that stuff. But I'm just going to check around one more time. Oh, here we go. This is fantastic. We'll take that. Very nice. And, yeah, we'll just do the usual. Actually, you know what would be fantastic to do with this coal? Get some sticks and make more torches, because we're going to need them. There we go. 47 torches now. That should be plenty. Oh, and also, can't forget the dirt either. Alright, so I reckon we're gonna have kind of a low roof going on right here. Now, that's gonna be not 2 blocks tall, it's actually gonna be 2.5 blocks tall. We're gonna utilize some slabs. But, what I'd like to do, I think this is actually a really cool thing you can do with builds. I only like to cover part of the ceiling with slabs. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a whole bunch of arches that are essentially going to hold up the dirt, basically, that's going to be put on top of this place. Unfortunately, you can't do this with sand. Big oof, because it falls, but yeah. we're going to have quite an interesting roof here. It's going to be something aside from your standard Minecraft roof. So we're going to build these pillars up 3. It looks like we actually are going to have to go 1 layer deeper in this direction, but that's okay. We can easily do that. And would you look at that? Not 1 vein of iron, but 2 veins of iron. That was only 1. And this is another, like, holy frick. It's another good few pieces of iron right there. That's pretty nice. Alright, so there we go with the logs right there. Those are all in place. Now we're going to take ourselves some other logs right here. Make ourselves some slabs. Not too many. Just about 24 might be enough here, but I guess we'll see. And then we're going to put them up like that, basically. So it's going to kind of be like a mine shaft, I guess. And would you look at that? That was exactly enough right there. That's fantastic. Normally, I either overshoot it or undershoot it. It's never I get it right the first time. Then we're going to basically take the dirt and bring it down here onto the layer that's above these things. Alright, so it appears that we have run completely dry in terms of dirt, except for these 5 blocks right here, so you know what that means. I think we're going to have to utilize some sand and place some of it back, I guess, on areas where we can actually use it that aren't affected by gravity and stuff. So yeah, we'll just grab a few stacks of this. I accidentally grabbed some smooth sandstone. Now going right on over here, do you guys think you can tell where the thing is at? Because I sure can't. Absolutely not. Why would you ever think it would be right here in this spot that I'm covering up? That would be so weird. Like, come on, there's grass here. Like, man, that's just weird. Why would you ever think that? Anyways, this is what it looks like on the bottom right now. This is what it looks like inside. So you can kind of see the concept right here. The slabs hold up the dirt. Not literally, but, you know, that's kind of the idea you get from the build, basically. But I just kind of like how it feels like more underground than the rest of this place right here. Now, we are going to need some dirt right around here, so I'm going to have to go topside real quick. You know, not going to lie, it does look a little bit less obvious when I put the sand right here, I guess. So, maybe I wasn't joking earlier after all. Maybe you were legitimately weird for thinking it was right here. So what I guess we'll have to do for dirt is we're going to have to layer down that whole area right on over there. It's like that sliver of birch forest. And build something there at some point, I guess. Because this is where all the dirt is. As you can see, there's not a little ounce of dirt out here in the beach. I almost said the desert. That's pretty typical because of its size. 48 dirt. I think that should be, in theory, more than enough in worst case scenario. If not, we'll just go topside again and rinse and repeat. Alright, and there we go. It's not done yet, but it's really, really coming together right here. What we're going to want to do next, though, is we are going to want to put together some stairs right here. We're going to put these right up here. This is going to be some extra reinforcement, I guess, just for decoration. And luckily, since these aren't full blocks, we're going to be able to put the chests beneath them, and we're still going to be able to open them, too, which is great. And we're just going to essentially rinse and repeat this across all of these different, I guess, sections in the wall right here. And there we go. So this is what we've got right here. Do you think maybe we ought to put some doors right here potentially? I don't really think that would be entirely necessary. I think that would be a little bit annoying actually, because we're gonna have to put 2 sets of them, otherwise it's gonna look asymmetrical and stuff. But I think that should be alright. It is looking a little bit dark in here though, so I think I'm just gonna fix that real quick by putting some torches right here. And yeah, basically that's what we're gonna do for the other one right here. I'm gonna do that one off camera because I just think that would be a little bit boring just to see me build the same thing again. But this is basically the concept right here. This is what we're balling with on both sides. Now I don't exactly know what the other side right here is gonna entail. It's probably gonna be much of the same thing, but we won't have to worry about the falling sand as much because, you know, there should be more layers of dirt over there, I think. But anyways, now the only thing left to do is actually transfer all the ingredients down there. So we're going to need a nice clear inventory for this. And luckily, we have a storage facility that sure can do that. If you couldn't already tell. We've dumped a lot of items in here. And it appears going into the smelting area right here. It looks like we had some iron and some copper smelting up here. I'm going to check all these furnaces occasionally. You never truly know what you're gonna find when you go into one of my smelting areas in this game. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna move all the item frames down. I think that would make things just a little bit easier and more convenient because, you know, we can have everything labeled. I'm not sure if I'll do the same amount of chest storage we have here for the nether wart and the blaze rods or the blaze powder, Because the reason I have 3 chests there is because, you know, those are kind of essential ingredients we're going to be using for every single potion. The rest are all just single chests, but I think we're just going to do single chests for all of them this time around. Because I highly doubt we'll be able to, like, need more than a double chest full of nether wart or anything if we even get our hands on that. We actually probably will get our hands on that. I think it's probably more unlikely that we don't get our hands on like a full double chest of blaze rods or blaze powder, whatever I put in there. It's probably blaze rods because crafting them into blaze powder will probably take up more space in there. Alright, so we have 36 item frames. I'm not really sure. Yeah. So we have 20, so that's going to be almost more like double than we need. So yeah, these 2 right here, these will probably be just blaze powder, nether wart. They're right next to the door. Across from here, I think we could do glowstone and maybe gunpowder, because splash potions and everything. And then going down here will just be the miscellaneous ingredients and stuff. Nothing really too crazy to write home about. Oh, you know what would also probably be more essential to keep near the doorway right here? The bottles. We're going to have a lot of those. Those are really essential. Why didn't I think of those? There we go. I think that should be everything. We do have some extras here, but, you know, it's just because we had multiple of these chests prior, as I said. But, yeah, so we have 3 open areas right here. We can probably use one of these for phantom membranes. And then, yeah, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah, we got 3 open slots right here. Very nice. So if we discover another ingredient sometime, it'll be quite helpful to have these 3 open and everything. But now it's time to actually transfer the items, which could be a little bit more annoying because that's going to require some inventory space. Luckily, it only appears that we have like 1 or 2 stacks of items here for most of the items, so it shouldn't be that too much of a big deal. Except the nether wart. The nether wart is kind of crazy. And the magma cream, I guess. Alright, and there we go. That is everything, I think, transferred. So we can just go up there, break those chests, and feel how much more open it feels, I guess, up there. So that'll be fantastic, because that's kind of why we're getting rid of all this stuff and moving it down there. We do have this big balcony right here. Hold on. Well then, we're not done, actually. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of bottles. Man, yeah, we do have a lot of glass in this world. So yeah, we'll just have to transfer all those down. I guess I didn't check that area, but there we go. That should be the only item, I think. Maybe, I could be wrong. Nope, I was wrong, alright. There was sugar in there. Do we have a sugar chest? I think we do, right? Yeah, we do. I'm pretty sure we do. Would you look at that? There's a hidden item frame behind there I must have misplaced. That's fun. But yeah, here it is now. Feels a little bit more open. Not too much of a crazy difference right here, but in these areas, it's definitely a lot more open and spacious. We have personal space now. It's pretty nice. And I was right. We do indeed have a sugar chest right here. I don't know how I missed all that. Alright, so I just finished editing down the previous segment you just saw right there. Turns out, it's just under 18 minutes, literally just by a second. So we have plenty more time. We're going to build that house that I mentioned at the start of the video for the villagers, because we have a lot of open space there, and I'd really like to work on that village. We need more butchers. And the reason we need more butchers is because of these farms right here. We recently relocated all the animal farms, card above. And yeah, we have a lot of meat coming in here now. We can sell to them, and we can swim in emeralds. If only there were enough butchers, because you can't trade with one villager forever. Eventually they run out of stock, and you gotta wait for them to restock and everything. But yeah, you'll notice right on over here as well that it's a very empty pen. It's very empty. There's no life in this pen whatsoever. Today we're gonna fill it with life, and by life I mean a whole bunch of pigs that we're gonna steal from the desert nether if I can find them. So what we're gonna need is we're gonna need some beetroot. They love beetroot, and typically I only use beetroot and leftover potatoes to breed pigs in Minecraft, because beetroot is just kind of the only thing that pigs eat that's like unique to them. Like rabbits also eat carrots. Something else also eats potatoes. It's actually villagers eat potatoes. They give me emeralds, you know, it's just trading and everything. I know it's technically not the same, but beetroot. Beetroot is the stuff for the pigs, that's for sure. And yeah, that's why I kind of have a whole bunch of beetroot lying in that chest right there, for those of you who are wondering. Anyways, going on into the desert nether right here. Hello, villager. What are you doing here? He's just chilling. He's a master level farmer just chilling on the other side, wondering where all of his friends are. Buddy, you gotta get in that portal right there. Anyways, pigs. I reckon we should be able to find them quite easily. And would you look at that? It's a pig. We found a pig. It's been like 5 seconds. We've been in this dimension for like 5 full seconds. We already found a pig. That was actually really easy, not gonna lie. I thought for sure we'd be like walking across this whole savanna, which I don't think actually ends for a while. I don't really remember the whole layout of the desert nether, except the fact that the new chunks are in that direction along with the stronghold. But yeah, here we are. We got ourselves 2 pigs right here in literally the quickest amount of time possible. That is fantastic right there. Now, will they cooperate in getting over to the portal right here so that way I can move them in? Because unfortunately we don't have leads in this world. And this is before the update that made leads easier to craft without the slime ball. And we don't have a slime farm or really any access to a slime chunk. So doing this the old-fashioned way is kind of gonna be our only way of doing this right here, but they're being very cooperative. Come on down here, fellas. Go into the portal now. There we go, beautiful. That was fantastic, actually. This is really working out. We're gonna have plenty of time to build this house. Anyways, pigs, come right on over here. Keep coming, buddies, come on. Yes. Alright, come right on in here, right into your brand new home that you will never be leaving, because I need to exploit you guys for that sweet, sweet emerald from those beautiful, beautiful villagers right there. Just good old capitalism at its finest. Anyways, yeah, so that's going to be another farm filled. And I did mention previously that we might be able to do chickens in the 4th pen all the way down there, that 4th enclosure. Not really sure, just for the purpose of lag and everything. I'm not really sure if we'll actually be able to do that anytime soon. I would like to figure something out, specifically with like the eggs and everything, because that can cause a lot of lag. So yeah, we'll have to hold off on that for now, but to be fair, I don't even think we have enough butchers to like support the amount of chicken we'll have coming in from all that, assuming we fill it up to the max. But yeah. That's a mission success with the pigs right there. That's beautiful. So that's going to be another source of income right there, because villagers, they sure do love their pork chops, their raw pork chops, that's for sure. We're going to trade a whole bunch of those. But anyways, now it's time to build a house, basically. So this is going to be a little bit bigger than the rest, and we're going to utilize a lot of jungle logs, because we have a lot of those. So there we go. I think this should be far more than enough right here. Now, what do we want to use for the floor? I was thinking maybe, do you think sandstone would look alright? We do have a lot of sandstone. I think we're going to go with some sandstone right here. We'll take a few stacks of that. And now it is time to get to work. Alright, so where I think we'll place this will be right here, I think. So, start digging out the ground as per usual right here. Now, we're going to have 2 big sections in here. The first section I just dug out right here, this is going to be the entrance area, and then branching off of this on either side are going to be basically the area where the butchers are going to be at. I think we're going to have 4 of them in here and 2 beds. Maybe more beds if we can squeeze some in. Or maybe I could do one side dedicated to beds and the other dedicated to butchers. I'm not really sure. We'll figure it out as we go along here, like we always do. I'm thinking we might want to make this a little bit wider, but this is going to be as far as we're going to be able to go in this direction, because it is straying a little bit close to this building right here. Luckily, we have plenty of space right up here on the front, so that should be alright. And there we go. That's going to leave 3 blocks of space right on in here for one of the side sections right here. That should work out just fine. Alright, so here we are. This is basically going to be the floor plan, I guess. Now we're going to build up the walls, and what we're going to do for this bottom layer right here is I would like to see, sandstone doesn't exactly look like the best block right there, so I reckon we might have to use some smooth sandstone right there, just that way we can have that top texture right here on the sides. I think that would look a lot nicer and everything, look a lot less, I guess, natural, maybe? You know, like it just doesn't look like a rock or something, because that's essentially what the side of this texture is. While we're here as well, we're also going to grab ourselves just a tiny little pinch of glass, just a stack, not even. We're going to obviously convert that to glass panes and everything, so that's going to amount to being a lot of glass panes, that's for sure. Now, where is that smooth sandstone I accidentally picked up earlier in this video? There we go, that's the stuff. Oh, and you know what we also can't forget? How very silly of me. We got to get ourselves some beds in the actual workstations as well. That would kind of be nice to do that all in one trip. So do we have any spare furnaces lying around in any of these barrels. I'm assuming not. So what we're gonna do is we'll just take them and craft them ourselves. And there we go. That's gonna be 4 smokers right there. And we'll also craft the glass panes as well. I don't reckon we'll need any more than 32 for this. And as for the beds, I think that's also going to be pretty straightforward as well. We got plenty of wool here. We're only going to do 2 of them. Maybe if only if there's space we'll put beds in. We do need to prioritize jobs, but at the same time, I don't even think we have like enough villagers in this village to actually grab all those jobs and everything, because they're stealing each other's jobs again. And I might have traded with some of the job stealers, I guess. And now they'll always have that job for life. Alright, so I think this is how we'll do it right here. We'll have 2 of them on each side, kind of like that. And then in the middle right here, this is where we will hide the beds. They're not really hide, they're really out in plain sight. So why the frick did I say that? And that looks a lot better right there. See, look at how smooth it looks. It's smooth sandstone. It's the smoothest sandstone in all the land. Now the roof plan on this build is going to be a little bit interesting. We're going to have 2 roofs essentially on 2 different levels. The 2 areas right here, these 2 areas branching off, move over Iron Golem. These are going to have lower roofs than the main area right here, which is going to have a higher roof. But it's only going to be by a couple of blocks, so hopefully we'll be able to fit all that in. Alright, so that's 1 roof done right here. This is kind of the concept. I really like how it looks. We're going to slide in a glass pane in that little hole right there, though. So we're just going to want to repeat that on the other side, and then that should look alright. But we're still going to have to figure out what's going to happen for the middle section right here, and how high I'm going to have to elevate that for that to work. Alright, now moving on over to the middle section right here. I believe we're going to want to elevate this by about 3 or 4 blocks. So if we just do it like right up there about... I think that might work out. That might work completely right there. So what I'm really worried about is having to change stuff like right over here on this edge because the roof is too low. But I reckon this should be a-okay right here. Would you look at that? Someone already has moved in. Kind of. I mean, they're just sort of walking through it so that way they can get to the village meeting. But you know exactly what I mean. Someone technically moved in right there. Alright, I think it might be done right now. At least the roof. I know we haven't finished the walls right here. I just kind of wanted to get the roof over with. I reckon it'll look pretty good if we just remove these 2 logs right here. You can't see anything under here. That's fabulous. Let me get some light going here. Yeah, so there we go. This is what we got looking at it from underneath right here. And if you go outside, it really checked out. Not gonna lie here. It looks good. I really like the distance between each roof right here. It looks just right. It doesn't look like it's like a mile apart, but it also doesn't look like it's like right up against it either. So we'll just put in some stuff right there and basically fill in all the walls, and then it'll be done basically. It'll be nice. Oh my goodness, there's a creeper in here. Dude just climbed right through the window. That was terrifying right there. I'm glad that's over with. I knew there were like monsters around here and stuff, but yeah, I guess I had that coming this whole time. But anyway, it's really starting to come together right here. We're still working on it. We might need a little bit more glass than I thought, not gonna lie, but other than that, I don't think we'll actually be going back for any other resources. Would you look at that? I think we had like just enough glass. That was the perfect amount of glass I could have picked. That's fantastic right there. Anyways, I think it may be finished. It may be finished, of course, minus the door, but the walls might be finished. I think that's the case right here. That's fantastic. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't put a window over here. We gotta fix that. I didn't bother putting any windows on the back right here because it is the back, and the only thing these villagers are really gonna look at if they look through these windows are just gonna be the neighbor's house. Kind of weird. And also, we need slabs on top of these furnaces right here, these smokers. Jungle stairs will essentially capture the same thing, but it's really not going to look good if we have a window right in back of here. Anyways, now, I think it's almost done. I think it's really getting there. I think we could use a little bit more lighting in here, which I'll take care of. And there we go. So, that's going to be that, basically. So, this is going to be the home of 4 more butchers, basically, in the future. Once we have more beds and stuff. Maybe we ought to put more beds, like, right here, too. I'm going to craft a couple more. just right near the doorway right here, which is going to be having a door in it just momentarily. And by momentarily, I mean right now. Do not want any zombies waltzing on in here, that's for sure. Not really sure if these two right here are going to be the only open beds in the village. Do we have any other beds in this building right here that I built like a very long time ago? Oh, we do. Well, that's just great. We'll have to use those on a later date, I guess. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. I know I've kind of been producing less Birchlands content lately, but in 2026, this fabulous new year you're seeing this in, I'm going to try to get more Birchlands stuff out now, especially that I've got the good mic and everything that sounds nice amongst, like, all my other mics. But, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, where we might honestly build another village house, although we still have to go to the end in this world, too. That's something that's kind of been giving me a little bit of anxiety, but I also said I would do it. So, yeah, we'll probably be going to the end next episode at some point.